So the reason why we like small town New England, bottom line, it's safe. And then you think to yourself, well, in what ways is it safe? So as you're raising kids or something, that's safe. If you need doctors or medical stuff, some of the best in the world, that's safe. Mudslides, don't have them. Earthquakes, don't have them. If you get an ice storm, it generally doesn't kill you.
It's very, very unique. It's very, very country, very easygoing. And
I never leave the village. I try not to. I really do. I love the village.
we're all like an extended family.
Small towns are really interesting because individuals can make a big difference in what goes on, and they tend to be very, very interesting people. There's
Peter Limmer and Sons. These are just finishing up these boots and getting ready to ship them out to customers.
If you had a choice, or do you have a choice, would you leave your small town for the big city?
No. No, definitely not.
L'idée d'essayer de retrouver du travail en France quand beaucoup de personnes m'ont dit on est vieux quand on a passé la quarantaine, surtout pour une femme. Ouais. Ce serait, je pense, ce serait frustrant pour moi de rentrer comme ça. Alors, je m'appelle Valérie Janssen. Avant mon nom d'époux, c'était Valérie Meunier. Voilà. Je viens de France, Savoie. Voilà. Et ça fait 23 ans que je suis aux États-Unis. S'il fallait revenir en France, j'espère bien que moi je pourrais y être juste pour le plaisir. Mais d'être à la retraite, pas de problème.
Titoun, can you tell me where you come from originally?
Chamonix.
Peut-être on va parler en français.
Comme tu veux.
Okay.
Je suis partie de Chamonix en 71 pour aller habiter à Lake Tahoe en Californie et j'habite ici depuis maintenant septembre 77.
Dans quel type d'environnement tu te trouves aujourd'hui?
C'est un petit village, c'est pas plus grand que Chamonix, c'est même plus petit que Chamonix. Mais on a notre Mont Blanc là, c'est pas mal.
Et c'est quoi?
C'est le Mont Washington, mais alors, tu regardes de loin, c'est la même forme que le Mont Blanc depuis Servoz.
Tu partages ta vie entre Chamonix et North Conway. Est-ce que tu peux imaginer un jour retourner en France définitivement?
Pas à 100%.
Pas à 100%. Et
non.
Pourquoi?
Parce qu'il n'y a pas de rivière à Chamonix.
Il y a l'Arve.
Non, mais tu peux pas te baigner dans la rivière, c'est pas possible. Pour l'instant, il y a de la glace et de la neige, mais c'est cultivé, ça ne sera jamais construit. Et de cette maison, comme tu vois, on ne voit pas une autre maison. Mais on a une perspective, c'est comme si on habitait je sais pas, au bout de la plaine de Salange, et sans aucune maison jusqu'au Mont Blanc.
C'est la sensation d'espace qu'on a ici.
Exact. Et à Chamonix, on n'a pas.
Neighbor, bounce and swing. Long lines, forward, back. Gents, element left, 1.5.
Okay, ready?
Pull! Find it.
No, that's because you stopped. You follow through.
Yeah, I know.
Just relax. Remember what I told you and just do it. Don't think about what I told you. Yeah, that slides back down the forend.
Yep.
Remember, the whole point is to hold the gun comfortable for you.
Yep.
To bring it up evenly and fluidly and follow through.
Pull.
Safety.
Yeah, this village is really quite unique, and we used to, my late wife and I used to come here for weekends, and when we're getting ready to go home, my wife would say, well, we're leaving the real world and going back into the hectic world, because it's very a great place to go and relax, and you can just be honest, and people accept each other for who they really are, and not try to put on airs. We take life as it comes.
J'aime beaucoup ici. Je veux rester très longtemps, mais la vie est très simple ici et très lente. On n'a pas l'impression de perdre son temps, on n'a pas l'impression de ne rien faire. On fait toujours quelque chose, mais sans. On se dit pas, oh, j'ai rien fait aujourd'hui, mais en fait, il y a une espèce de lenteur dans la vie qui est bien. Agréable la vie parce qu'on passe plus de temps avec les gens, on les écoute, on se parle, on se rencontre mieux. Moi, je passe beaucoup de temps à regarder la nature.
One of the things that's interesting about the Shakers is that they were a celibate people, and the Shakers believed that they were God's chosen people, that they had to live this lifestyle in order to ascend to heaven upon their deaths. They wanted to be completely apart from the world's people, as they called non-Shakers. They wanted to be able to provide themselves with food and a good living without having to use things from outside of their communities. So that's one of the reasons they created these little tight-knit communities here.
This is Newport. In the evening, foghorn is blowing. No fog. There's probably fog out there.
I love being in Newport. It's small enough that it's very personal. You either know somebody or you're related to somebody. But it's big enough that it's got everything you could possibly want in a lifetime, you know. I love living on the water. I can't imagine being, further inland in the country and not being near the water. Just seeing the ocean all the time.
Nous avons 3 enfants. Tous les 3 ont fait un lycée aux États-Unis, le lycée Rochambeau. Et nous sommes très très francophiles et un peu francophones. Il n'y a pas la moindre doute que les États-Unis n'auraient été jamais devenus les États-Unis sans qu'il y ait eu l'aide non seulement de Rochambeau et ses troupes qui sont débarqués, comme vous savez très bien, ici à Newport. Ils ont hiverné ici et puis ils sont descendus à pied de grande distance à Yorktown.
We're very indebted to the French and we like to sing la Marseillaise.
Mais très franchement, je dois dire que même avec les troupes de Rochambeau, Yorktown n'aurait pas eu lieu sans avoir l'action de l'amiral de Grasse qui, avec sa flotte, a emporté la victoire sur la marine britannique jusqu'au commencement, le débouché de la baie de Chesapeake.
General Rochambeau finally talked Washington into giving up his idea of attacking Cornwallis in New York.
Les Américains aimaient beaucoup les Français pour leur aide dans la Révolution.
Pendant la Révolution.
Alors, nous avons une amitié historique et qui existe encore.
France is so socialized, and I love that. And the United States is so capitalistic, and I want more socialization here. I am thriving for a better healthcare system, But it's getting smaller. Our little liberal enclave is getting smaller and smaller. It's kind of scary. It's very scary. I don't know. I think we're moving to New Zealand or Canada or something.
Je fais pas de projet trop à l'avance. Faut voir ce qui va se passer. Et la France me manque un peu, mais pas tellement. Pas vraiment. This is my home. C'est ici où j'habite. Je suis très patriotique. J'apprécie beaucoup ce qui se passe aux États-Unis, comme les gens ici sont épatants, très chaleureux, surtout pour les Français. Je sais qu'il y a beaucoup de gens qui disent que les Américains n'aiment pas les Français, mais c'est vraiment pas tout à fait vrai.
Oui.
Ouais. C'est comme.
C'est très très intéressant.
Lisa.
Je vous ai croisé dans un café ici à Newport et vous m'avez dit bonjour, ou c'était au revoir, ou à bientôt, je ne me souviens plus, en français. Et je me suis dit, elle parle français. Et je vous ai suivi.
Oui, et vous m'avez trouvé ici.
Et je vous ai trouvé ici.
Rhode Island as a whole, and Newport in particular, was founded by people who were looking for genuine religious freedom. Not just the freedom to practice their own religion, but the freedom to live without religion defining civic life. So our tolerance is the source of our prosperity in the 18th century.
Who liveth and reigneth with thee and the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever. Amen.
Avec plaisir, madame. Je m'appelle Monsieur Roux, R-O-U-S. On prononce ça Roux en français, mais ici aux États-Unis, c'est Rouse. Le premier nom, c'est Stephen. L'église dans laquelle vous êtes maintenant.
The Trinity Church.
Trinity Church, exactement, dans la ville de Newport, Rhode Island. Cette église est fondée dans le 17e siècle. C'est maintenant plus que, oh mon Dieu, 312 ans. et Marie Anne-Marie Richards, notre prêtre. Avant elle est arrivée, avant ça, tous les prêtres sont les hommes.
Ouais.
Moi, je préfère les femmes. C'est la raison que j'adore la France. Pour le... Et nous aimons la France. Nous aimons les restaurants, le repas et les femmes de France. Oui, toutes les choses en France. Il y a, comment dit-on, une joie de vivre en France. Les gens amusent bien. Les Français, c'est le peuple spécial. C'est très simple.
The photo of you was in front of the enlarged copy of
the George Washington Document of Religious Freedom for all American citizens,
where he underlines the importance of this religious freedom
right,
for all denominations.
For everyone, and we received this document before it became the official document of America in the Bill of Rights.
What will you do with that boat?
I will live on it and use it. It's going to be able to carry a lot of weight, and I'm going to use it to work with. There's a lot of work on outlying islands there. I'll be able to carry equipment and build decks and houses. And I've never seen such a good collection of boats as you see in New Zealand. It's the best that I've seen anywhere in the world.
Here in Newport?
Yeah. I'm sorry, in Newport.
Yes.
There is a lot of other school in England, something I think in France too.
Yes.
Yeah, and but not in Italy at all. And I visit in Newport. I think the place is wonderful and is the center of the sailing community.
In America or in the sailing community in general?
Newport is still a very, 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 very fashionable for us.
Ah, okay.
Donc voilà, j'habitais en région parisienne et je travaillais chez Renault. Ça faisait 10 ans que je travaillais chez Renault. Et puis voilà, envie de changement. Donc ça a été un peu long de se décider, de trouver la bonne voie. Mais voilà, c'était un peu la construction navale qui m'intéressait et plus particulièrement tout ce qui est bateau en bois, etc.
We are the behind the scenes.
I played piano for most of my life, and it's a great release, great joy.
And you teach?
I teach music, yes. Actually, I teach music theory, which I think is essential to becoming a better musician. The more you know about what you're playing, the more you can see and hear and understand.
You've lived most of your life here in Newport. Can you imagine living anywhere else but here?
Yes. I'm really fond of the Baltimore, Maryland area.
The Chesapeake Bay?
Chesapeake Bay area, yeah. And I loved living in San Francisco. That part of the country is really nice.
I think that being skinny has always been complex for women, and men never really cared that much. They like women of all shapes. and types. So I'm not surprised.
Money is power, but art is wealth. The work ethic, I think everyone's different. I think here in our community, you might find a higher percentage of people working because they love their work. It's more they're inspired to do it.
On aime d'abord par hasard, par jeu, par curiosité, pour avoir dans un regard lu des possibilités. And there was a certain, you had to say des possibilités, and if you didn't say it in that
With
that
that
sing-songy
intonation.
tone, and you, no, des possibilités. So everybody just, everybody hated that poem, I guess is the answer.
That's what it looks like, starting over and new beginnings. And where am I going? Hopefully to a nice place with my beautiful son.
You're never too old to learn anything new, or you're never too young to do anything big. And you can always change your mind. And mostly if you look at the statistics, there every 7 years somebody changed their jobs. So there, one door's closed, the other 2 doors open over there.
Can I sit down?
Oh, yeah,
Would you
please.
like to sit down too? I'm a Newporter, yes. I was born and raised here in Newport.
And your parents came originally from
From
Greece?
Greece, that's right, in 1916. Well, I took over from my father in 1960. He took ill, I came in as a temporary. And I'm still here.
You're still here.
Since 1960.
Don't get me started, Teresa. Don't get me started. I've got to give me a soapbox. The thing about evil that's so terrible when you confront it is that it's ordinary and dull. And that's what the right-wingers are in this country. They're ordinary and dull and criminal as regards both the environment and in general common sense human responsibility.
So what's the hope?
There is no hope. We're all screwed. Sorry. Barack Obama is a good guy. You know, he's a good guy. He's a very good guy. I'm going to vote for him again, and I'm going to tell everybody I know to vote for him again. I hope he gets in. What do you think?
We don't do any research of any kind. We take the genetics and we preserve them. We're trying to create a large frozen library of genetics. Quite a few nations that are looking to set up programs like this to preserve their own native breeds.
Okay.
They say it's a combination of tennis, chess, and racquetball. And the players are playing off the walls. And there's something called the chase line. And the players are hitting the ball, and it's going past the chase line, and that's how they're scoring. Pretty confusing for a person to watch for the first time. In the game, like I said, it goes back to the monasteries in France.
Oh, very interesting.
And yes, I believe the initially it was played from the hand, what you called
Des jeux de paume.
You got it.
We're conserving lacquer panels, Asian lacquer panels from about 1750. And when I wrote a paper about it, I called it the French Connection, because we think that the panels were purchased by French merchants, by the Marchand Mercier, for use in townhouses when chinoiserie and things Asian were all the craze.
She is a standard poodle.
Standard poodle.
Well, she's on the small side, but she's a standard poodle. That's why she's a therapy dog, and she had to have a lot of tests and lessons and classes to be a therapy dog.
It's a
The French have a very sincere heart and sincere passion for what they do. In France, everything that is good is small. The copine is, a girlfriend, but if it's petite copine, that's an intimate girlfriend. Everything petite is good. In America, things are grand. Is big is better. Always here, we say, the difference between a gourmet and a gourmand, and that's what we try to portray at this restaurant, at least. And things that we do, we don't have 100 rooms. We have a little inn, an auberge, with 9 rooms, and that's it.
I don't know. I don't think it's that important where we are going. I think the way is what counts.
I'd read that, this was in the 60s, the early 60s, that Newport had more 18th century buildings than any place in the nation, which is true, and I always adored the 18th century.
So that's what attracted you, is the colonial architecture.
I love France. There's a special joy when the plane lands and you just... I think I'm just lucky. Nothing special that I did. I love fat and grease. I gave up smoking many years ago. I don't drink too much. And I try always to walk, but most of all, I like to be engaged. I like to stay in the game. And if you get out of the game, you might as well give up. That's how I feel.
We are on the beach, not exactly beach weather, but even in this kind of weather, you always find somebody walking on the beach. It's beautiful. Beach Lane Beach, the east end of Long Island, in the town of East Hampton.
So we're in what you call the Hamptons.
This is the Hamptons.
How do you describe the Hamptons?
Paradise. It's beautiful.
I learned from Sister Catherine that you speak French. In fact, you greeted me in French, in a beautiful French. Shall we continue? Est-ce qu'on peut continuer en français?
Je ne crois pas. Je ne parle pas couramment. J'oublie beaucoup de choses. Alors ça ne va pas.
Pas trop quand même. Est-ce que vous pouvez m'expliquer un petit peu l'essentiel de votre démarche identitaire ici?
Pas en français.
In English, that'd be fine.
All right.
Quand on parle avec mes cousins au Canada, on use des mots anglais avec des mots français. Ça fait qu'on va dire j'ai besoin des tires pour mon char. Ça fait qu'on mélange ça.
Vous mélangez. Ah, c'est très drôle.
Ça fait on s'accorde.
That was in my wife's family, and in 1988 or so, I couldn't resist it.
It's beautiful.
So I was like, I better buy that.
You've had that forever.
It's a 1968 Pontiac Firebird convertible, all stock, 352 barrel, 2-speed, believe it or not. If you floor it, it stays in that gear till 70. Then it kicks into second. Says, all right, now we're going to go into second gear. And it's just like everything in the rearview mirror gets tiny real fast.